Happy birthday, dear Kelly. Happy birthday to you.
Sharon Osbourne stood firmly by her daughter Kelly's side as she faced one of the most emotional birthdays of her life, her first since the passing of her beloved father, Ozzy Osbourne. The day that was once filled with laughter, music, and the warm presence of her dad now carried a deep ache of absence. Ozzy, the heavy metal legend who had touched millions with his voice and spirit, had sadly passed away in July at the age of 76 after suffering a heart attack. For Kelly, the thought of celebrating without him felt unbearable. She admitted that the idea of marking another year without hearing his voice or seeing his smile left her completely shattered. Yet, despite the heaviness in her heart, her family gathered around her with love and strength. Sharon, ever the devoted mother and wife, made sure Kelly didn't feel alone in her grief. Together, they shared tears, memories, and gentle laughter as they remembered the man who had meant everything to them. It wasn't just a birthday celebration, it was a quiet tribute to a father and husband who would forever remain in their hearts. Through the pain, the Osbournes found a small light, the comfort of togetherness, and the unbreakable bond Ozzy had left behind. Sharon Osbourne stood by her daughter Kelly as she faced one of the hardest birthdays of her life, her first since losing her father, Ozzy Osbourne. What was once a day filled with laughter and family joy now carried a deep ache of absence. Ozzy, the heart of the Osbourne family and a legend to the world, had passed away in July at the age of 76 after suffering a heart attack. Kelly admitted that she felt completely shattered at the thought of celebrating her birthday without him. The day felt empty without his jokes, his big hugs, and his unforgettable presence. But even through the sadness, her family surrounded her with love.
Smile.
Fuck off.
Smile.
Yeah, can we go by the Sharon Tate Motor House?
Sharon, holding her own grief close to her heart, made sure her daughter didn't spend the day in tears. Together, they shared stories, looked through old photos, and remembered all the times Ozzy made them laugh until they cried. Though the pain of his absence was heavy, the Osbourne family found comfort in being together. It wasn't just a birthday, it was a moment of healing, a way of keeping Ozzy's spirit alive in their hearts, and reminding each other that love never truly dies. Kelly Osbourne turned 41 on Monday, marking another bittersweet milestone in her journey through grief. To her, this birthday wasn't just another year. It was a quiet reminder of the life and love she shared with her late father, Ozzy Osbourne. Wanting to share a glimpse of her day with her fans, Kelly took to her Instagram stories to post a few touching clips from her birthday gathering. In one video, she could be seen sitting at a dining table surrounded by her closest family members and friends, their faces lit softly by the warm glow of candles. The room was filled with gentle laughter and the kind of love that only family can bring. Then, as a waiter approached with a beautifully decorated birthday cake, everyone began to cheer and sing for her. Though Kelly smiled, there was a tenderness behind her expression, a mixture of gratitude and heartache. It was clear that while she was trying to embrace the joy of the moment, her father's absence was deeply felt. Still, her family's effort to make her day special reminded her that even in loss, life continues and love remains, strong, unshaken, and ever present. As the waiter carefully placed the cake in front of Kelly, the room filled with cheers and applause from friends and loved ones. It was a sweet, emotional moment, one that carried both joy and sorrow. Sharon, ever the devoted mother, quickly moved to sit beside her daughter, her face glowing with a tender smile that only a mother who's seen both the highs and lows of life could wear. The 73-year-old leaned close to Kelly, gently placing her hand on her daughter's arm, a small but powerful gesture of comfort and love. Their bond was undeniable, one forged through shared pain, resilience, and an unbreakable sense of family. Kelly looked radiant yet reserved, wearing a sleek black low-cut top paired with a delicate silver necklace that shimmered softly under the lights. Her signature blonde hair was pulled back in a neat half-up, half-down style, giving her an elegant yet effortless look. Around her, friends clapped and sang a heartfelt happy birthday, their voices filling the air with warmth. Beside her, Sharon exuded quiet strength. Dressed in a classy black gown, she carried with her a piece of Ozzy that night, his wedding ring, which she now wears on a delicate gold chain around her neck. It rested close to her heart, a silent tribute to the man she loved for over 4 decades. As Kelly blew out her candles, the moment was both beautiful and heartbreaking. It wasn't just a birthday celebration, it was a night of remembrance, resilience, and the enduring power of love that lives on, even after loss. In the days leading up to her birthday, Kelly Osbourne poured her heart out on social media, giving fans an emotional glimpse into her grief and the pain of facing yet another milestone without her father. Taking to Instagram, she shared a heartfelt carousel of photos capturing some of her most precious memories with Ozzy, moments that showed not just the rock legend the world adored, but the loving, funny, and gentle father she knew behind closed doors. In the photos, Ozzy could be seen smiling beside his daughter, hugging her tightly, and laughing in moments that now felt like treasured snapshots of time that could never return. Alongside the photos, Kelly wrote a message that was both raw and deeply personal. "Tomorrow is going to be a first for me. The first birthday without my dad," she confessed, her words heavy with the weight of loss. She reflected on how much those days used to mean to her, how every year she looked forward to celebrating with him, to hearing his laugh, and most of all to receiving the birthday cards he would write her. "Every year, the thing I looked forward to the most was spending the day with him and the cards he would write me," she said. "Knowing that I will never get one again shatters my heart." Kelly then shared a few of those cards in the post, revealing how her father's messages were always short, simple, but full of love, the kind of notes that said everything without needing many words. They were tokens of a bond that went beyond fame or music, a connection between a father and daughter who adored each other. She ended her post with a line that broke hearts across her fan base. "I love you, Daddy. Tomorrow will suck without you." It was a simple truth from a daughter still navigating grief, clinging to memories that time could never erase. As soon as Kelly shared her emotional post, fans from around the world flooded her comment section with messages of love, empathy, and shared grief. Many admitted that her words brought them to tears, as they too understood the deep pain of losing a parent. One fan wrote a particularly touching message saying, "I just lost my dad this month. I'm 28 and he was 65. He worked with your dad a few times in the tour bus industry. There's nothing like losing your daddy. I feel you on how it will never be the same without them. All my love goes out to you." The comment resonated with thousands, reflecting how Ozzy's passing had connected people through shared memories of love and loss. Others offered comfort and gentle reminders of hope. "I'm sure he'll find a way to send you a message. Look for the signs," one supporter encouraged, reminding Kelly that love never truly fades, even after death. Another follower added, "He'll be with you in spirit, Kelly. He wouldn't miss it for the world." The heartfelt words poured in endlessly, stories from fans who had lost loved ones, others sharing how Ozzy's music helped them through their own grief, and many simply thanking Kelly for being so open and vulnerable during such a difficult time. It became more than just a comment section. It turned into a space of shared healing and remembrance. Fans reminisced about Ozzy's legacy, his humor, and his gentle soul behind the heavy metal persona. For Kelly, the outpouring of support was a reminder that her father wasn't just her hero, he was loved by millions. And in every kind message, every story shared, and every fan who said they felt her pain, she could see that her father's spirit truly lived on, not just in her heart, but in the hearts of those who loved him across the world. Another fan added a heartfelt message that truly captured the emotions many were feeling. "Happy birthday, Kelly. Keeping the cards is something I did with my dad too," the comment began, echoing Kelly's own touching tribute to her father. "It's hard going through all the firsts. Mine was in March. You really do miss that phone call and the birthday card." The fan went on to share something deeply personal, a gesture that spoke volumes about love, memory, and grief. "I decided to get a tattoo with his handwriting from one of the cards. Dads are the best and missed when gone." It was a simple yet powerful message that struck a chord with many others reading it. The idea of holding on to something as small as a handwritten note, a card, or even a familiar phrase becomes incredibly meaningful after losing someone so important. It's those little pieces of the past that keep their presence alive in our hearts. Kelly's post had opened up a floodgate of shared memories, stories of daughters and fathers, laughter and loss, and the universal ache of missing a loved one who shaped your world. For Kelly, who had been clinging to the birthday cards her father used to write her, seeing how others also found comfort in these small tokens must have been deeply moving. Each message, like this one, reminded her that grief is not just about pain, it's also about love that never fades. And on her first birthday without her dad, the warmth and empathy from people around the world became an invisible embrace, wrapping her in the kind of love her father always gave her. Someone else added a message that was both tender and deeply relatable, writing, "I'm so sorry for your loss, Kelly. I lost my dad too, and I know this unbearable pain. Just know he is always with you and will be with you tomorrow in spirit, sending you so so much strength. It was the kind of message that seemed to come from a place of true understanding, from one grieving heart to another. The comment wasn't just sympathy, it was solidarity. It was a quiet reminder that even though the pain of losing a parent can feel endless, there's a strange kind of comfort in knowing you're not walking through it alone.
For Kelly, who has always been candid about her grief and unafraid to show the world the depth of her emotions, messages like these carried a weight far greater than words on a screen. They were not just comments, they were lifelines, little threads of connection that wove together a tapestry of shared sorrow and shared love. Each message reminded her that the impact her father had on the world was immense and enduring. Ozzy Osbourne was not only a father and husband, but he was a legend whose music, humor, and personality had touched countless lives. People who had grown up listening to his songs, who had marveled at his presence on stage, or who had admired his resilience in the face of illness and adversity, now reached out in heartfelt solidarity, letting Kelly know that her father's influence extended far beyond the walls of their home. These messages were an affirmation that grief, though personal, is also universal. They spoke to a shared understanding, the ache of missing someone who was irreplaceable, the pangs of remembering a smile, a laugh, a familiar voice, or a simple gesture that meant the world. For Kelly, each comment, each note of empathy, each virtual embrace was a gentle reminder that her father's love, strength, and resilience were still alive, reverberating through the hearts of millions. Her father's legacy was not contained only within the music he created or the fame he amassed, but in the connections he inspired, in the lives he touched, and in the love he gave, and that love now came back to her, multiplied by those who mourned alongside her. As Kelly approached her first birthday without Ozzy, the weight of the day was almost unbearable, yet it was softened by the knowledge that she was not truly alone. Surrounded by friends and family, the room filled with laughter, love, and gentle moments of remembrance, each memory both beautiful and bittersweet. The echoes of her father's voice, the warmth of his smile, and the countless small gestures that had once made her world feel safe and joyful were present in every corner, lingering like a comforting shadow. And then there was the love from the wider world, fans, strangers, and fellow mourners whose words, no matter how simple, reminded her that Ozzy's spirit was still very much alive, still present in the acts of kindness and empathy extended to her. In this way, Kelly could feel her father's presence not only in the memories that lived within her, but in the continuing flow of love from people all over the globe who had been touched by him. Even in the thick of heartbreak, there was an undercurrent of strength and resilience, a quiet force that steadied her, and it was exactly the kind of strength her father would have wanted her to feel. He had spent a lifetime inspiring those around him to embrace both life's highs and lows with courage, humor, and unyielding passion, and now, even in death, that influence remained a guiding light for his daughter. Her first birthday without him was not merely a day to mark age or milestones, it became a testament to enduring love and the power of connection. The messages, the embraces, the shared grief, and the collective memories became a shield against the loneliness of loss, reminding Kelly that though she could not hold her father's hand or hear his voice that day, she could still feel his presence, reflected in the love surrounding her, and the heartfelt stories shared by fans and friends alike. It was a profound lesson in the nature of grief, that it does not exist in isolation, that mourning can become a bridge between souls, and that the love of someone who has passed can continue to live on, manifesting in the hearts of those who remember, honor, and share in the sorrow. And in that realization, Kelly found a small measure of peace. She understood that her father's legacy was not diminished by his absence, rather it had grown, blossoming into something that touched lives far beyond her own. Each note of sympathy, each story shared, each memory recounted online or in person, became part of the larger mosaic of Ozzy's life, a reminder that he had given the world not just music, not just a persona, but the gift of inspiration, the power of connection, and the enduring proof that love, even after death, can reach further than anyone could imagine. Even as her heart ached and the first without him, birthdays, anniversaries, simple conversations continued to arrive like tidal waves. Kelly could draw strength from knowing that the bond she shared with her father transcended time and space. In every message of support, in every shared memory, in every quiet acknowledgement of his influence, Ozzy was still very much alive, living on in the hearts of those who loved him, in the daughter who carried his legacy, and in every life he had touched along the way. And maybe in that vast, unspoken circle of love, Kelly realized that grief itself could be transformed, becoming not only a measure of loss, but also a living tribute to a life deeply, profoundly, and endlessly cherished.